All right, hello everyone. Welcome back in to another episode of Matt Sports Talk, and we are going to jump right in to recapping all the games from the women's side. We start first in Fort Wayne, 2-seeded St. Francis, 7-seeded College of Idaho, and it was St. Francis here, 60-54. This was kind of a back and forth, really a flip-flop reversal in the second half. The Yotes outscoring the Cougars 21-9 in the third, but the Cougars outscoring 17-7 in the fourth, and that made all the difference there. And then looking at the stats for St. Francis, you had 21 points for Renna Schweiderman leading the way, 7 of 16 shooting, 7 of 9 at the line. She had 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Samaya Stout off the bench had 2 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 steals. Really, really good to see that. And Emma Royst with 2 rebounds and 5 minutes of action. And then in terms of your starters, you got 7 points for Isabella Gizzi. She struggled shooting at 1 of 7, but she was 4-4 at the charity stripe. 5 rebounds and 2 steals for her. You had 6 points for Taylor Fordyce, 2 of 4 shooting, 1 of 1 from deep, 1 of 2 at the line, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. 5 points for Julia Mantilla, 2 of 5 shooting, 1 of 4 from deep, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. And Callie Gregory, 19 points, 7 of 12 shooting, 2 of 4 from deep, 3 of 4 at the charity stripe. She had 5 rebounds and 2 assists. Really, really good to see that out of the sophomore. And St. Francis, they didn't shoot the ball bad. 44 from the field, 38 from 3, so not too terribly bad from deep. And they were really decent at the free throw line, converting 15 out of 19 for 79%. And that was your matchup there. The next matchup will take us to Henderson, Tennessee, where 1-seeded Freed Hardman faced off against 9-seeded Bethel, and the Bethel Lady Pilots. They fell to the Lady Lions of Freed Hardman 73-64. And this was a close game for a while. Bethel had an 8-point lead at the end of the first quarter, but Freed Hardman reversed the script in the second, outscoring the Pilots 24-13, and that made all the difference there. But for Bethel, they end their year at 21-11. So, man, what a job by them. Head coach Scott Paulsgrove, his assistant Austin Hawkins, and their entire team. And obviously, ending the careers of several seniors, most notably Jasmine Smith and Mariah Claywell. What a way, and I know a great way to end your career. Obviously not on the losing side of the spectrum, but getting to the big dance for the first time in 12 years. And for the first time in their playing career as a Lady Pilot. What a job by this team. They end their year 21-11, and this was a Lady Pilots team that nobody expected to make the national tournament at all in preseason. They were projected to finish 6th, and boy, they got red hot at the right time. They made a heck of a run in the national tournament, just came up a little bit short. So for the Pilots, you had 15 points for Isabella No, 6 of 10 shooting, 3 of 4 from deep, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. And she's only a freshman, so she's going to be a great, great player next year for the Pilots. 11 points for Isabel Scales, 3 of 7 shooting, 5 of 8 from deep, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. 7 points for Olivia Nickerson, 4 rebounds, 2 assists for her. 15 points for Jasmine Smith, 4 of 11 shooting, 7 of 8 from the line. 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. So really, really good balanced numbers there. And then Mariah Claywell ends her career as a Lady Pilot with 7 points, 3 of 8 shooting, 1 of 3 from deep. She had 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Off the bench, Hannah Ruddle in 5 minutes of action did not score. Jocelyn Marshall with 3 points. You got Faith Fleetwood and Allison Metzger getting some playing time. No statistics for them. Justice Williams with 6 points and 5 rebounds. Loverain Gaskins, Dominique Stoley, and Annabelle Wilhite all got playing time at the national level. No statistics for them. And the Pilots struggled shooting at 37 from the field, 35 from deep, and also struggled at the free throw line, converting 13 out of 20 for 65%. And that was your match up there. The next matchup will take us down to McKenzie, Tennessee, where number 1 seeded Bethel faced off against Huntington, and the Foresters of Huntington falling short here, 73-56. However, they did win one more game this year. I believe they won one more game this year than they did last year, so that's an improvement under head coach Darby Maggard, her assistant coaches, her mom, Dee Dee Maggard, and the graduate assistant, Gabby Melby. What a job by this Lady Forester team this year, getting back to the big dance in back-to-back years, something that obviously not a lot of teams can say, but that just shows that Huntington is going to be a lot better next year when they'll get Bailey Kellum back fully healthy, Kendall Yoakum as well. This is going to be a Lady Forester team next year that everybody is going to have to watch very, very closely out of the Crossroads League, and I'm super, super excited to see what next year will hold for them. And leading the way for the Lady Foresters in their final game of the season yesterday, while ending their year 19-12, Liv Raby, the junior center, 17 points, 6 of 8 shooting, 5 of 6 at the line. She had 3 rebounds and 1 block. 8 points for Addie Shank, 5 rebounds, You had Tegan Akers, did not score, but she got 3 rebounds and 1 assist. Only 4 points for Annika Nelson with 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Only 2 points for Kendra Sheets, but she had 7 rebounds and 4 assists. And off the bench, you had 11 points for Kendall Yoakum, 3 of 7 shooting, which was all from deep. 2 of 2 at the line, 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Only 2 points for Lauren Merritt with 2 rebounds. 7 points for Peyton Hartsoe. 3 of 3. Actually, Hartsoe was perfect from the floor. 3 of 3 and 1 of 1 from deep. 4 assists and 1 rebound as well. And 5 points for Izzy Shepard in 4 minutes of action. 2 of 2 shooting, 1 of 1 from deep. So great to see that, especially with someone that tore her ACL, that had her sidelined for her senior year of high school. And to see her play at the national level for the very first time and scoring points, that obviously is absolutely awesome to see. And the Foresters didn't shoot the ball bad from the field at 47. They struggled from 3 at 33, and they were really good at free-throw line, converting 9 out of 12 for 75. The big difference here was the turnovers, and Huntington was forced into 25 turnovers, and the Wildcats of Bethel out of Tennessee scored 32 points off of that, so that made all the difference there, and that was your matchup there. The next matchup takes us to Indianapolis, Indiana, where 1-seeded Marion faced off against 8-seeded Columbia, who had only lost 1 game all year, and the Lady Knights prevailing here 70-47. And for the Lady Knights, they forced Columbia into 24 turnovers and scored 28 points off that, so that pretty much tells you all you need to know. And for the Lady Knights, they didn't shoot the ball bad from the field at 39. They were excellent from 3 at 50% and really, really good at free-throw line, converting 14 out of 18 for 77%. And leading the way for Marion, really no surprise. Abby McNally, 19 points, 12 rebounds, another double-double, 6 of 14 shooting, 7 of 8 at the charity stripe. She also had 2 steals. Her sister Kylie with 10 points, 5 of 10 shooting with 6 rebounds and 2 steals. 9 points for Madison Bailey, 5 of 8 at the line. She had 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. Really, really good to see that. Only 2 points for Taylor Double, but she had 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, and a block, though. And then 14 points for Kenna Kirby, 5 of 12 shooting, 4 of 7 from deep, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals for her. And for Kirby, that was her final home game as a Lady Knight. So what a way to go out, that is for sure. And off the bench, you had Aubrey Frank in 3 minutes of action with an assist. 4 points for Kennedy Coleman, 2 of the 4 with the charity stripe, though. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal to go along with that. Olivia Faust with 8 points, 3 of 3 shooting, 2 of 2 from deep. She also had 1 rebound, 2 assists, and a steal. And then Zoe Wheeler, 3 minutes of action, had a rebound, 2 points for Eva Fisher, and 1 assist, and 2 points for Emily Grimm as well. And that was your matchup there. And then the final matchup takes us to Rio Grande, Ohio, where 2-seeded Rio Grande faced off against 10-seeded Indiana Wesleyan. And I tell you what, like, this is just absolutely amazing. The Lady Wildcats upsetting Rio Grande 86-80. And man, of course, I said in my videos yesterday, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to bed early, catch up on sleep. But now, and then I was watching the live stats of the game. I'm like, okay, no, I can't go to bed. Like, I'm glued to this game. And what a win for the Lady Wildcats. And you figure for them, they are 6-2. In over the last month, in their last 8 games, they are now 6-2, and out of those 6 games that they've won, they're winning by at least 6 points or more in all of them. And this is just absolutely amazing, and this is what a true Cinderella run looks like. And really, the Cinderella run that these Lady Wildcats are on, those are the best runs to be on, because you easily have the potential to go all the way. Now, I'm not going to do any more jinxes because I said, I don't think they're going to go all the way. Yeah, I'm not going to say any of that now, because this is a Lady Wildcats team, y'all, that, wow, y'all, this Lady Wildcats team is for real. Like, they really are. And the way they have played in these last 8 games over the last month, like, this is the Lady Wildcats team that everybody expected them to be in preseason. And obviously it took a while, but at the very least, you figure with what they have done, that they've not only shown that they can compete at a high level and upset some excellent top 10 teams in a national tournament, they have not only shown that, but they've also shown that even if their season comes to an end on Thursday afternoon against Dakota State out in Sioux City, Iowa, like, even if that happens, the momentum that these Lady Wildcats have shown over the last month, if that same energy and juice carries over into next season, this is going to be a team, y'all, that could easily win the national tournament next year. At least make it to the title game. I maybe go 38-0. I know 38-0 might be quite a little bit of a stretch, but it's definitely not impossible. But I will say that this team, they have an extremely good potential to go all the way next year. Even if it doesn't go their way this year, next year, y'all, they have the potential. They have the potential easily to go all the way next year because of the talent level, the confidence, and you figure their confidence level is at the highest level it's ever been. And when you are this confident, like you need to be this confident going into next year, because you are going to have so many great players. And, you talk about Addie Hovey, you talk about Ayla Krieger, and both players I don't think have quite hit their ceiling yet, and ceiling in a good way, meaning that they haven't hit their highest potential quite yet. But out of those two players, Addie and Ayla, if they can hit their maximum potential next year, man, I'm telling you, like this, it is going to be the most memorable season yet that the Lady Wildcats have had next year by far. Man, I mean, I know that, I might be, I might be kind of, jumping the horse, so to speak, getting too far ahead of myself, which again, I don't want to do that. But I am super excited for next year already. Even if Thursday does not go the Lady Wildcats' way, I am super excited for next year, because I know that next year this is going to be a team. I think they are going to be the most dangerous team in the Crossroads League next year. And again, there might be a couple other teams that go along with that, like maybe Huntington. Spring Arbor is going to be another team to watch next year. St. Francis and Marion, they're going to be the top two teams in the league once again next year, by far, because they're not really, I know Marion's losing a couple people. St. Francis really isn't losing anybody. So, and the Wildcats, they're not really losing anybody either. So, I think by far the best three teams next year are going to be Marion, St. Francis, and Indiana Wesleyan in any order. I think next year your fourth and fifth place teams. I think you're going to be looking at Huntington, Spring Arbor for sixth place. I think you're probably looking at Bethel, Grace probably around that sixth spot. Maybe as well. I think Bethel, Grace, Taylor 6, 7, and 8 next year. I think in any order, and then Mount Vernon and Goshen I think will be 9 and 10. And again, I didn't mean to kind of give you it's not my official prediction for next season where everybody will finish, but that I just think that this is a Lady Wildcats team that I think they're going to be the most dangerous in the Crossroads next year. And I could not be more excited. And the future is so bright for the Lady Wildcats. And man, the recruiting class that Coach Whaley got in this year has just been amazing. And man, I cannot wait for next year. And then obviously, recapping this game, you look at the Wildcats, 51% from the field, and that's just amazing. 36 from three, and they were way better at the free throw line this time, 20 out of 28 for 71. And then you have 19 points, Ayla Krieger, 7 of 13 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep, 3 of 3 at the line. She had 5 rebounds and 2 assists. 10 points from Isla Browning, 3 of 5 shooting, 1 of 3 from deep, 3 of 4 at the line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. 6 points for Kylie Bettinger with 1 rebound. 6 points as well for Addie Hovey. Of course, I talked about her a few minutes ago. 3 of 5 shooting, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. And 2 points for Jade Hovey. Had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals, though. Off the bench, 7 points for Haley Amy. 3 of 3 shooting, 1 of 3 at the line. 6 rebounds for the sophomore out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. 5 points for Tori Thompson. 2 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep with a steal. And then Corinne Grivey did not score, but she had 1 rebound in 10 minutes of action. Ellie Kelleher, 2 points in 18 minutes of action. She struggled shooting at 1 of 6. 2 rebounds and 2 assists, and 1 steal as well for the sophomore out of Carmel, Indiana. And I saved the best for last. This is just and again, I'll admit, after the Lady Wildcats won the game last night, I will admit, I was so emotional after the game, and I have not been that emotional since I was 12 years old, which was way back in the day, because I'm kind of getting up there a little bit in my years, even though I'm nearly in my mid-30s, or at least will be in a couple of months. But I was so emotional last night, and And even this morning, like earlier this morning, like I was so emotional again. And you figure Emily Mattingly, this is a young lady that essentially is only playing on one healthy knee, and she just, and I mean, went off last night. A career high 29 points. And you figure, like, she got injured back on February 4th, and nobody thought that she would even come close to be able to play again this season. And I'll say one thing, that the Lord definitely has put his hand of protection and healing on her. And like, I could not be more proud of this young lady, a junior, Evansville, Indiana, and of course she's going to be a senior next year. And man, in fact, she's playing not just at a very high level of confidence, but I love seeing the juice out of her, seeing the passion out of her when she's out on that court. She plays with so much grit and determination, and man, she plays great defense. And if she can just continue to build on this confidence level going into next year, she could easily put up 10, 15 points every single game, and that would just be amazing. And you figure, like, her story this year of how she has been able to lead this team to Sioux City, Iowa, man, it's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle and a blessing as well that she has been able to do this. You know, I mentioned a career high, 29 points, 7 of 10 shooting, 70% from the field. Like, that's incredible. 2 of 4 from beyond the arc, 13 out of 18 at the charity stripe, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Like, that, man, like, it is just absolutely amazing that she put literally the whole team on her back last night and upsetting a fantastic Rio Grande team that had only lost one game all year, and that was to Marion back in December. And this Lady Wildcats team, they easily were a 20-point underdog last night, and to see them pull out a 6-point win when you're a 20-point underdog, it doesn't get any better than that. Like, it does not. And like, this is just absolutely amazing of what this team has been able to do this year. And man, for Emily Mattingly to go off like she did, it just shows that, you know, that she basically, when she went out on that court last night, she basically said, I'm going out and I'm winning this game. And that is something that I love. I absolutely love that. And of course, you know, I know that, you know, and obviously for anybody on any team that's going to be an incoming senior, you know, seniors, you know, they obviously want to win games at a very high level. And this Lady Wildcats team, if they have this same exact level of confidence, you know, you figure next year the seniors are not just going to be Emily Mattingly, but you got Bria Garber, you have Tori Thompson, you have Kylie Bettinger, and you also have Corinne Grivey, and you have those players. They're going to be seniors next year. You know that they want to win games, and even if the end of this season does not work out for them, like what they hope for, like, I'm telling you, next year they are going to want next year more than ever, and next year is their last best chance, I think, to go all the way and potentially take home a red banner. Now, do I think they're going to go 38-0 next year? You know, maybe not. That might be quite a stretch, but it's definitely not impossible. And I think that if this Lady Wildcats team, if they can improve their confidence level out of everybody that's playing, like, and you look at how young they are right now, and you figure they're not going to be a young team next year. They're going to be a team that is going to be hungrier next year. They're going to gel together more next year, and like they figured it out this year, and they're figuring it out at just the right time. And like, I cannot wait for next year to be at the, you know, at home games next year, a brand new facility, which is going to be absolutely awesome. And hopefully, Lord willing, and again, keep our fingers crossed, but Lord willing, them being able to host the opening 2 rounds next year, man, I would love to be out on that home court next year, watching them cut down the net and celebrating with them. And man, like, I thought I was really emotional last night. Like, if that happens next year, like, I probably will not be able to stop crying out on that home floor next year if that happens. And again, like, I'm just so proud of them. and just, man, it's so awesome to see this, because nobody expected this. I mean, if you would have, and it's not just me, but I think if you would have told a lot of people that a month and a half ago they would not only make the national tournament, but they would advance to Sioux City, Iowa for the 9th straight year under head coach Ethan Whaley, which they've made it out there now every single year that he's been a head coach. They won all the opening rounds, or not all the opening rounds, I should say, but in the last this is 6 straight years that they have won the opening 2 rounds of a national tournament, and that is just absolutely amazing that they've done this, and it doesn't get any better than that. It just doesn't, and you figure though too, like, again, like I'm just speechless, and again, if they beat Dakota State on Thursday, they are either going to get Freed-Hardeman or Georgetown in the Elite Eight round. And then if they were to win that game, again, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We don't want to lose focus. But if they were to win that game, then potentially they would get a rematch with Dordt in the Final Four. And then if they were to upset Dordt, hey, they've already upset 3 top 10 teams in the country this year, with Cumberland's when they were in the top 10, with St. Francis in the top 10 twice, and now upsetting Rio Grande, that was ranked 8th in the country, and Dakota State's ranked 7th in the country. So why not keep winning? Why not keep upsetting top 10 teams with Dakota State? Then upsetting a top 5 team in Freed-Hardeman perhaps, and then upsetting maybe number 1 in the country, Dordt, and then upsetting Bethel, Tennessee, or Campbellsville, both ranked in the top 5. So again, why not keep winning these games, and why not just keep winning and because this is a Lady Wildcats team that they are for real. And again, I would not really have said that a month and a half ago in terms of a national tournament level. But they definitely worked their way into a tournament. They definitely earned every nickel and dime of this. And man, I could not be more proud of them, could not be more excited for what's to come as we end this season. So that's going to do it for this video. Again, make sure that you subscribe down below so you do not miss out on any of the important information. If you did enjoy this video, please either like, comment, or subscribe. Any one of those options helps me out greatly. And in my next video, I am going to be going over my updated tournament bracket with you, giving you my overall record. And again, that's not going to be a 20-minute video or over a 20-minute video like this one is, because I want to get these episodes uploaded as quickly as possible before the high winds hit once again. We just had that on Friday. But again, thanks so much for tuning into this video, and please let's hit that 200 subscriber mark by next Tuesday. That would just be absolutely amazing. It would mean so much to me if we were able to hit that. So thanks so much for tuning into this video, and I will see you momentarily with the next one. God bless.